15.8 renewal of independent service contracts. Board members, is there a motion to approve?
Pickup and delivery from school sites to the credit union.
Is there a second, board members?
Second.
Or discussion?
I have a question. Have we looked into trying to find a way to get this moving away from collecting cash and checks from parents to doing this electronically, so that we could, most importantly, end the requirement of staff to collect funds and have to deal with all that. I mean, that's a huge process. If you look at that district-wide, or even from from a single site's perspective, but then secondarily to try to find a way to save an ongoing $75,000 or to reduce that in some manner.
Well, I believe some of this is through food services, obviously, and Ms. Fisher can speak to that. But also some of it is ASB funds that are collected in cash to the site and then deposited in the bank.
This is real electricity.
So if they're collecting cash for ticket money and things like that, it gets incurred. So I don't know. We can't eliminate it at all.
About half of this budget is for food service to transport our money, and we are trying to find a way to do online payment for meals. One of the problems that we have is that not all of our schools are networked in the cafeteria. So I think we have 9 sites that are not internet connected because it's not brought to the multi-use room into the cafeteria to do that. So we don't have a way, if those parents pay online, of communicating with the site computer that there's money on the child's account. But we're proceeding with that anyway and trying to find a way to offer it for the schools. We've waited up to this point because we wanted to be able to do it at every site, so that you don't have a child at one school that can pay online and the sibling at another school can't. But we're trying to proceed anyway. So we're in negotiations.
One of our technology upgrades is to get those facilities wired. We just haven't done those yet. So.
And it would be, I mean, it's a huge benefit to the parents. I mean, because I can tell you from my own experience, you know, having to rely on a 8-year-old who's fairly reliable to come home and say, "Hey, Dad, I need you to throw another $50 at it." You know, okay, but you know, it would be nice to be able to go online and view that.
It would be.
And be able to make that payment, not have to make, you know, so that I know that it's gotten from point A to point B, and I haven't had to worry about her having to, whether or not she's, you know.
Made it. Yeah, I know it very well.
So,
yeah, we are proceeding with that, and I hope that we'll have something up and running in the fall.
And I assume when you say ASP funds, a lot of that has to do with the registration process and the things that are purchased through that process and other processes where students are buying yearbooks and whatever.
That is part of it, yes, especially at the beginning part of the year when they have the walkthroughs, but then even just throughout the course of the year, even if a class is going to do a field trip and the teacher gets all that money, it goes to the secretary, then deposits it into their account from which they then cover the cost for the field trip. So that way they're not keeping money on the campuses where it's much riskier. We keep that deposit going regularly.
I mean, if you look at the $75,000 that we have to spend on a ongoing basis and find a way to utilize that in a more effective and efficient way, I would think that we would be able to come up with enough dollars to justify making the switch if we have to wire 8 schools or whatever we need to do.
And fortunately, though, the food services dollars come out of food services and are not general fund expenditures. So not that we don't want to find ways to save money. That's not a general fund expenditure. The issue around a lot of it, one of the things that MDUSD really worked hard on is gate receipts, and a vast majority of the gate receipts all come in cash. So I'm not sure how, we can eliminate all cash from the sites, but we will continue to find ways to try and do that.
And there's also segments of our population that operate on an all-cash economy. They don't have credit cards, and so it's still legal tender. We're still required to accept it if they bring us cash. So for now, we haven't gone totally electronic, although some parts of the district have more than others.
Is there a motion? We did. I'm sorry. If we could ask, it totally disappeared off my screen. It was Miss Hanson, Denler, and then Miss Hanson. Who seconded this? I'm sorry. Miss Mayo, is it you?
Yes,
I'm sorry. It totally just blanked my screen.
but I want to confirm with the maker of the motion that it includes both contracts, 1 and 2, in your motion.
Yes, I didn't read the second line, renewal of food services independent service contract with David H. Costa for courier service for pickup and delivery from school sites to the credit union.
Thank you for clarification. Any other comments? I will call for a vote on the item. Motion carries 500.